Hello everyone and welcome back to the video, and today I'll be talking about the future of SCR. So today I'm going to be talking about the future of SCR, things which are probably coming in the future of SCR, just looking at the Trello board and stuff, and then basically giving my own and personal opinion on these things which will be coming to SCR hopefully. So today I'm going to talk about three main topics, which are electrification, advanced controls, and train models. Now, before I get cracking on with the video, I just want to mention two very important things. The first being that this is all my personal opinion and that you obviously can disagree with me. Just make sure to write that down in the comment section below. And the second thing is to check out my previous video where I talk about the things which could do a bit more work on in SCR. Make sure to check that out. Link in the description below. Enjoy the video. Now, electrification is something that is really nice in SCR, and you can see here in Stepford Central that it's really coming along well. You can see that it's also been upgraded because they definitely used to use a different sort of electrification. Now it's a lot less decal-ish and it's much more clean really. I much prefer this kind of electrification. It's a lot more realistic. But to be honest, I do think the other kind of electrification, which is more the old style, is still completely fine. It's the kind of electrification where you'd find at Lynn and stuff. But to be honest, I quite like having different electrification because in real life, electrification changes. Some of it was built at different times, so I don't really think they should upgrade it. I mean, I think they will, just because it's Roblox and they always get upgrades and they always have something to upgrade. But it's not just about the electrification itself. The Pentagraph is actually something very important in the electrification. Because if you have a pantograph which is sort of like, yeah, you know, you've got half a metre from touching the wires and stuff, that's a little bit unrealistic and stuff. And that's really mainly what concerns me. Is it going to be just like real life, touching the wires? I mean, there's something very small, very tiny little gap. I think I could let SCR get away with it, but yeah, I think SCR needs to try and get it as quick, like as close as possible. And I think this electrification at the moment has been done really well. Also, just here, you can also see in the Trello board that they are going to bring, well, it says that they're going to make these test routes from Stepford East to Stepford Central, where you will have to raise your pantograph before your train can even start. I don't know if that plan's been cancelled or something because Stepford East hasn't been electrified yet, but I think they could actually do that thing between Willowfield and Stepford Central, because it's electrified the whole way, and you could just raise your pantograph at Stepford Central, go to Willowfield, and then back to Stepford Central, lower your pantograph. And if you go to Stepford Victoria, then you'll just lower your pantograph at Beachley. So that's just something for SCR to consider. Just here, you can actually see that there are some little faulty areas where the electrification doesn't match perfectly, or yeah, they've just like rushed it a tiny bit or something. But to be honest, I think I can kind of live with that. Like, it's not really that bad. The Train Simulator makes lots of mistakes like that. So yeah, I think I can live with tiny little mistakes with the electrification. But it's more about the pantograph, just there, as you can see, whether it's going to go up nicely. And as the doors have this very nice animation when they open and close, so the main question is that will the pantograph also have a nice animation, or will you just click the button and then it just appears up? Like turning the railways, you just press reverse and then all of a sudden the other pantograph's up, if you're in the TGV for example. I think that's okay, like at least the pantograph switch, but I really think it'd be much nicer if SCR could do even better by making a nice animation for the pantograph. But yeah, that was mainly what I had to say. I think that it's really coming on well. As you look at new sneak peeks, there's constantly more and more and more electrification, all looking very nice. That crossover is really nice. Some of the Stepford Central cross, and then like the curves and stuff, the electrification's done amazingly. And I think I really think SCR should get some credit for that. So yeah, I think SCR's doing really well with the electrification, and I think it's just a question of time before they will release pantographs. So yeah, can't wait. Now, advanced controls. that's an interesting one. I've actually got a lot of things to talk about in this. Basically, talking about the throttle, for example, which is a little bit simple and basic at the moment. And they actually have said in Trello board that they are going to upgrade the throttle and add, basically split it up into the brake and the throttle. Now, I definitely think this method would be a lot more effective, especially in SCR, because then you'd be able to leave stations and arrive at stations at different speeds, and it's really, really nice, because at the moment, when you come into stations and you depart stations, it's very unrealistic. It's too fast, way too fast. So I think it would be really nice if SCR started taking GCR's approach, for example, because they have separated the throttle and the brake, and it works really well, actually. Really, really realistic. Now, I'm also going to talk about the pantograph. As you can see, it's the only button which you can't use at the moment. And basically how I think they should do the controls. As you see, if you go into the guard thing, it comes up with this thing. So basically, if you get a guard, you'd either reject it or you'd accept it. In the pantograph, I think they should add a thing. So when you click the pantograph, this box comes up, and then you can press raise pantograph and lower pantograph, because that would be really nice, because then it'll give you more options, and then it'll get even more realistic. And this applies mostly for trains like, for example, the class 801 and the 802, because they have two pantographs. This class 331 only has one pantograph, but the class 802 and 801 actually have two pantographs. And by the way, SCR, I do not want you to get this one wrong. If when you bring out pantographs, you get the back pantograph instead of the front pantograph, or both of them, that's not going to make me happy. So do not make that mistake. I'm just warning you, because don't. Anyway, if they were to make it the front pantograph only, that's what would be amazing. It's basically how they're going to do it. And I think it would probably be best if you clicked on the pantograph and then you had various options. For example, pantograph 1 or front pantograph, raise and lower. So then you could have the two options. A little bit like the guard UI. Like in the guard UI, you have a lot of options, which is really nice. And that's the sort of thing I'm hoping for the pantograph. Not whole UI, because it's quite complicated and stuff, but it would be really nice if they did that, I think. So that's more the kind of thing I'm hoping for. That's yeah. And it would be really, really nice. And I understand that when you're terminating at a station, you'll start getting complicated, because then you're going to have to switch pantographs. And like when you carry on your service, and it's just. Yeah, SCR will have to play around with it a lot and see how to get it, but I do not want them to get it wrong, because I do not want the back pantograph going up. I'm just basically giving you the chance to be better than Train Simulator, because Train Simulator have their back pantographs on the Azumas, the class 800s, which is not nice. It actually really annoys me. Really annoys me. In real life, you never see them. It's always the front pantograph. The only exception would be, obviously, a double train. But that's the only exception. So I can't wait to see what SCR turns up with. Now, the reason I didn't add train models in what SCR needs to work on is because, just in case you're wondering, it's because it's not really a humongous issue which needs to be sorted out, as all of the trains have actually been converted to next gen. They were officially converted to next gen, or upgraded to next gen, in version 1.5, and I think it's pretty cool, to be honest. Then in 1.6, all of Connect was re-liveried, as was all of Waterline, and I think it's genuinely all looking good. This 802 has now been remodelled with a new livery for Airlink, and we're constantly getting new sneak peeks of the new Class 387s, 377s as well, which look fab. And I have to say, Toby, I can't believe it. They look sorry about this. I did maybe go a little bit over the top when I said the TSW models. Yeah, TSW models, not quite, but incredible for Roblox, mate. You've done an amazing job with this 802 and the Class 387s. Now, the Class 387s aren't out yet, and the Class 377s. I'm just guessing that the Waterline train's also going to get upgraded because it's, yeah. I'm also guessing that the Class 800 is going to get upgraded. As you can see in this sneak peek, there's just a livery, but it's not in its mod. This isn't the model. This is just a drawing and a design of the new livery. But liveries are, not liveries. Models are getting upgraded. They are moving on. They are coming to a new level in SCR. And the only thing I don't really like about this model, yeah, my only criticism, Toby, unfortunately, is the cab. Probably the older cab was probably a tiny bit more accurate. Yeah, it was a little bit higher, and it's yeah, there's a couple of holes on the windows and stuff, but overall this is an amazing addition to SCR and I love it. Can't wait to get the Electro Stars, and I just really think SCR's going really well with the models, getting a Class 707 too. So yeah, I'm really optimistic for SCR. I'd like to thank you all ever so much for watching, and do remember to check out my previous video where I talk about things that could do a bit more work on. Thanks for watching, see ya.